Hi everyone, thank you so much for your time. And let's make cancer-related financial difficulties more manageable. What I want you to do is just to do a little bit of exercise. Every one of us know a cancer patient, someone who is dealing with cancer, and they have a wide spectrum of issues to deal with. He or she can be yourself, your family member, or maybe your friends. So what I want to do is I don't talk for 10 seconds, and I want you to imagine what difficulties they have to deal with, specifically financially, on a daily basis. I'm not hypnotizing you. So, financial toxicity was a term coined by Dr. Youssef Zafar and Amy Abernethy in 2013 Luke Cancer Institute, and it's referring to the financial complications of cancer. How many of you have ever heard about the term financial toxicity? Yeah, it is. So the thing is, the truth is, there are several financial resources available for cancer patients. EI, CPD, tax returns, but the challenge is that they are not cohesive. There is no centralized dashboard, and all these problems, all these resources are so scattered that the cancer patients who lack the time and energy to tap into these financial resources are not able to use them. So what is the solution? A centralized dashboard for different financial resources the cancer patients are entitled to. This is what Pinky Promise is all about. So what's going to happen is cancer patients go online, they register online, they have access to a case coordinator, which is me, and the case coordinator helps them to go through the roadmap of financial, let's say fundraising. It's not fundraising, it's just tapping into the financial resources they are entitled to. It is for them, but the question is how to get a hold of people who are responsible for and how to tap into these financial resources. And in terms of product development, we are somewhere in between prototype and MVP, and we are trying to hire more case managers to deal with people who we are enrolling into the program. And in terms of revenue model, how do we make money? We charge 2% of the claim amount on the amount raised, and the other revenue strategy is co-branding, white label co-branding with top employers like RBC, TD, specifically financial institutions. We are focusing to collaborate with them as a white label solution. Honestly, one of the things that I'm thinking is, and I'm just thinking loudly, is a startup a good solution or non-profit? This is the dilemma that makes me awake at night. Is it the way to go, a startup, or a non-profit? And I'm just thinking loudly.
It can be both.
It can be both, yeah. Definitely it's a social venture. But the question is which path to go? Both. Maybe that's the solution.
If you're planning to raise money, then maybe non-profit will not be the right way to go. Because investors need to see an ROI.
That's true.
But if you're expecting that you're going to tap into a lot of government funding and other things, and it's a social cause, then maybe non-profit. There's pros and cons. There's no right answer to it.
Exactly. And when we go to the competitors, we can dive deeper in terms of which is the actual path to go. In terms of go-to-market strategy, content creation is my main strategy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blog on a daily basis, and these blogs bring traffic to my website. For sure, I'm using AI to generate these blogs. And the other thing is I'm in contact with non-profits who are focusing for cancer patients, like Gilda Clubhouse in Derry. And I run some workshops, so I educate cancer patients in terms of what resources are available to them. And low cost and optimized paid advertisement among cancer patients is another strategy to penetrate into the market. And in terms of the market size, the social assistance market in Canada is something like $6 billion per year. And based on our revenue model, which is 2% of the amount claimed, we are talking about, and we are talking only in Canada, we are talking about $120 million of total addressable market. And something like 25% of that total addressable market is obtainable to us. So we are targeting something like $3 million as an obtainable market for this market segment in Canada. And in terms of market acquisition, or in terms of the number of users, we are targeting 1,000 patients in 2025, 10,000 in 2026, 100,000 in 2027, and in 2028, something like 1 million. As you see, it's a little bit more optimistic compared to that 25% of the market, because it is something like 2/3 of the market in Canada, because we have something like 1.5 million cancer patients in Canada, but it's quite doable. And that number of patients or number of users translates into $80,000 in 2025 and $800,000 in 2026, 2027, 8 million and 80 million in 2028, which is the full potential of Canada. I'm in negotiation with some potential investors in the US, and we're talking about something like 20-fold market cap, TAM in the United States compared to Canada, which is reasonable because of the different health system in the United States and more population there. Traction. I have spoken to more than 100 cancer patients, and they have all mentioned that this is a daily problem they are facing with. So for my daily job, I sell life insurance to people. And a couple of days ago, a policy was lapsed. So I called the policy holder and I said, what happened? Everything was in the good order. And he said, you know what, my wife is diagnosed with cancer, and all of our credit cards are full because of the chemotherapy treatment. So sorry about that, but an alternative to tap into a market which they cannot service. So a strategic acquisition by an insurance company, preferably a Canadian insurance company, is the exit strategy. And competitors. There are 2 levels of competitors. Some of them are non-profits. That's why I said I'm just thinking which one is the good, but non-profits are not doing well. Wellspring is great. I appreciate them. I admire them. But the thing is, the offer is limited, and they are like band-aid solutions. We need something bigger. We need something larger. These are, and all hospitals in Toronto area just provide brochure, but brochures are not, they're not going that far. And we have some head-to-head direct competitors in the US, like Annexus Health. And Annexus Health is great, but they are focusing on a SaaS solution. So they don't have any holistic approach to cancer patients, and they're dealing with 13 disciplines. They are not focusing on cancer. What differentiates us is that we are focusing on cancer, and we are not only a SaaS solution, we are just much more holistic than a SaaS solution. Founder, why me? I'm an insurance and financial markets expert, insurtech enthusiast, and entrepreneur, and as an author, and former family physician. Before coming to Canada, I was a family physician, and combination of my medical knowledge and my experience in insurance in sales, claims, and different departments gives me a unique insight into this problem. And what differentiates me from others is that I look at the startup journey like a love experience. I think it's another topic for another session, for another day, but I think there are a lot of similarities between a startup journey and a love experience, and sometimes addiction. There are 3 different entities, but they are the same. There are some similarities between them. And what I'm seeking is 100% for 5% equity in my startup. And what I'm going to do is, I want you to be the lead investor. What I'm going to do is, after this, I'm going to reach out to OCI, because the OCI has a program and they match this exact same amount. So the bottom line is, I'm looking for $200,000 for 10% equity in my company, Pinky Promiser. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, go to the nonprofit path or anything like that, Reza@pinkypromiser.com. Thank you.
Reza, brilliant presentation. The problem is absolutely real. I can hear a presentation coming from a doctor and an insurance person, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, you'll have to pivot a bit. First suggestion. You're dealing with a real-life problem. Current stats show that every 3rd person in Canada is prone to get cancer. That's the stats we are dealing with. You can humanize your problem because all of us can relate. either we had a family member or a friend who has gone through the process where they couldn't work, family didn't have money, and these resources are very critical. You can actually get your audience in the first 2 minutes sitting on the edge if you just humanize the problem. So you just have to reframe your problem statement. It's a brilliant idea what you're doing. Second, your go-to-market strategy based on blogs is not going to fly with any investor. You know what? You have to be more aggressive in your go-to-market strategy. You could say, I'm tying up with, you said Guild, you know, the Barry organization. You could say, I'm going with Cancer Society, this. There's so many non-for-profits already working with cancer patients, but it's a critical resource you're bringing. Third, your competition analysis, you're going to put big hospitals as competitors. Every investor is going to be scared. You are complementing them. You can actually give your services to these hospitals in the long run. Instead of their brochures, maybe they can have your platform generating it, so they are your complementary. There could be a target market. Because going just B2C in this market is going to be difficult when you have so many organizations already playing a role in this market. So you need to go B2B, B2C, right. B2B to C, okay? That's the last thing. Last thing I just wanted to say is, when you ask somebody for 100,000 again, brilliant, you need to give them exactly, this is what I want to do with your 100,000. So I, as an investor, then know, oh, this is a brilliant idea, this is what my money is going to be used, this is what I'm going to get back out of that money. Right. Otherwise, what you're doing is a noble cause, great, right direction, just pivoting your pitch. I think so there's a long way to go here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can we also get feedback from Mr. Mike Kopp and Daniela, please?
Sure. Oh,
no. Here. Hi. I love you. I absolutely agree with Stan. It would be my pleasure to offer you mentorship. I think you have an amazing idea. A parallel to that, Reza, is that I know 3 startups that are working on taking all the grants in Canada and ensure the ventures one-stop shop where they can get the grants according to sector, size, whatever. Because right now it's very fragmented.
yes.
So I know 3 companies that are working all very, very fast to get to that market and get sort of a leadership position.
Right.
And they are doing a great service because right now, even our own companies in our portfolio, they say, oh, I did, what's OCI?
Yeah.
You know, we have to rescreen every single time times 3,500 that I see, right? And so what you're doing is brilliant. I think you're working on something, right? It could be a great business idea, again. When you go to ask for money, don't ask so little. You will need much more than that.
Right.
And so you need to show how you're going to deploy that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I totally agree with Oksana. I think there might be an opportunity for you to work with the federal government because they will have an interest in you organizing the entire bucket
right.
so that any Canadian from any province can actually have access to whatever, right? I love that approach a lot because nobody has done it, and not even in the States, because nobody understands where the grants and the financial aids. There are so many hundreds, if maybe thousands, associations that work on cancer, right? So, and you definitely want the sponsorship of the hospital, like Sick Children, like Princess Margaret, right? You want to put that into your pitch. It is not so much what you say, it's what we are saying to you is how you want to think about your company. You're not saying what you should say without actually translating them into the actual venture, right? So if you take that little shopping list that I put there, make sure that you have all those elements in that sequence, and as you think it through, you go, oh wow, I didn't think of this, I should do this, I'm missing this bucket. Right?
I was listening to your presentation, I was like, yeah, I'm missing this part, I'm missing deployment, etc.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I created that for me, because there's so many people that I want to help as well, right? That I want to make sure they go through the deal screening, but then I can't because they will never succeed, that they will be rejected, right? And maybe you have all the evidence, right? But here there is I think there is a promise. The pinky promises there is an actual promise here. I think you're probably on something big here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as my colleagues here, especially with Wasana. That's